This is Sky with Smart Poker Study. I'm going to help you do some pre-flop, pre-call stealing plan training. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes you find yourself in a situation like this. MP open raises actions on you in the cutoff with ace-7 suited. Now, here are the facts of the situation. You're considering a pre-flop call. Maybe you've rolled out 3-betting because your opponent, according to the Smart HUD, doesn't like to fold to 3-bets, and your hand is too good to fold, especially when you're in position against the open raiser. But when we think about ace-7 suited, you also know that your hand will miss the flop most of the time. Now, we can verify that with Flopzilla Pro. Ace-7 suited hits top pair or better, and the best draws only 33% of the time. Yeah, you're going to miss 67% of the time if you're only hitting 33% of the time. Now, here's something else very important. Your call says, I want to see the flop with this hand versus this player. So because you miss most of the time, and you know you're going to see the flop against this player, it's a critical skill to plan for a way to steal the pot before you call. This is going to bump up your red line, bump up your winnings, make you a more formidable player. So how do we come up with this plan? First off, think to yourself, I will miss the flop. So how can I steal it from this player? We have to think specifically about our opponent's tendencies, especially because we're thinking about calling. We have to think about his c-betting tendencies. Now, your basic steal plans are to raise when they c-bet, whether you're out of position check raising or in position just raising like we are here. You can also bet after they check. You can donk bet, preempt their c-bet with a bet of your own when you're out of position. Or you can even call now, like calling on the flop, in order to bet or raise later on the turn or the river. Now, to help you figure out which of these basic steal plans is likely to work against your specific opponent right now, ask yourself, what street are they honest on? It's your job to exploit their honest street. Now, if we look at this opponent's c-betting right here, c-betting 70% on the flop and then 83% on the turn, he is slightly more honest, even though he does bluff a ton on flops, slightly more honest on the flop. So my plan is if he checks, I am going to fire flop. If he bets small, 1/4, 1/3 pot, one big blind, I'm going to raise him. Especially on flops where I hit some kind of a draw, maybe even a backdoor nut flush draw. So those are my two plans right there. Let's see how this plays out. We end up calling a fold, couple other calls. Okay, we're a multi-way, ace-7 suited in the best position, 3 deuce queen, hard to hit board. I'm hoping he checks, showing weakness. I can fire. Check, check, check. Yes, it's my turn to fire. Drat, I checked. Now I have this hand tagged as a mistake because I did not follow through with my plan. On this board, there are a decent number of cards that I can barrel on, some for value and some for more bluffs. For example, an ace or a 7 comes, I can potentially bet for value right there. A heart comes, pick up a nut flush draw, I can barrel that. Even a 4 or a 5 gives me a gut shot, I can barrel those as well. But alas, I checked, really dislike that. Deuce of hearts come, what a great barreling card. It could have been. Check, check, check. I finally decide to bet, but look at that weak little bet. I'm showing that I'm just trying to stab and just take this one down. Give him such a great opportunity. Whether this is for value or a bluff, I love his play right here, and I just fold. Now let's get to the training aspect of this video. You're going to open up Poker Tracker 4, and I want you to do this filter. So in Poker Tracker 4, go to More, Filters, Actions and Opportunities, Pre-flop, scroll on down, Pre-flop calls, and then turn on Call to 2-bet. Nice and simple. Add it to filter, save and apply filters. I named this the Call PF 2-bet filter. So you've got all your hands right here. That ace-7 suited was the cutoff hand. But now that you've run the filter, it's time to do some practice. You're going to review 10 hands per position. You can go back further in your database to get more in the various positions. For each hand you review, you're going to open up Flopzilla Pro to see how often your hand misses the flop. This will ingrain in your mindset you're missing that flop most of the time. So let's go to the small blind. Let's open up the King-Jack offsuit hand. 33-1, fishy player decides to open raise to just 2. We got a caller, fold, and now we're thinking about calling. First, let's see how our hand fares on the flop. King-Jack offsuit, top pair or better, best draws 31% of the time. That means we miss 69% of the time. Yes, we're gonna have to bluff to win this one. Now, ask yourself, how can I steal it from this raiser? What street are they honest on? Well, this player right here, 33/1, generally a very fishy player, but I don't think he means business with this raise. Somebody already posted one big blind. If he really liked his hand, aces, kings, queens, I really think he'd go 3, maybe 4 big blinds right here. Even though he hardly ever raises first in, according to Smart HUD, only 1 out of 46, I just really doubt he has a great hand. So my plan to steal is as soon as he shows weakness on the flop or potentially turn, I'm going to take advantage of him. If the flop comes down anything at all and he checks back, I am going to bet on the turn. I'm going to probe from out of position. That pot's going to be 7 big blinds right now. If he bets like 1.7 big blinds, I'm going to come in for a raise to bluff him off, especially if I have any kind of draws with a lot of turn cards that can add equity. That way I can barrel in case he does call my check raise. So I have a couple plans in place. I'm not just relying on hitting a king or a jack or flopping a straight ace, queen, 10. Nope. So the flop comes down 7, king, 10. Awesome. Sometimes you make a plan to steal, but then you hit a value hand. Now you got to think to yourself, okay, don't need to steal, but how can I extract the value? I don't think he loves his hand. I'm just going to bet half pot. Let's see what he does. It's a pretty wet board. If anybody had a great hand and they were scared of the flush draw, scared of the straight draw, they're going to come out raising. Oh, just a call? Just a call? They don't love their hand. I'm probably ahead. I can double barrel her, especially on a blank 6. We make it 10.9 and they both fold. So sometimes you make that steal plan, but you don't need it because you hit a value hand. Awesome. This is one of the 31% of the time when I actually hit a decent hand. Now let's review one more hand out of the small blind. We've got pocket 3s. He open raises. I'm considering a call. Let's see how often pocket 3s actually hits the flop. Pocket 3s, top pair or better. Pocket 3s can't be a top pair, right? But 3 of a kind or better, and the best draws, only 15% of the time. Wow, I miss 85% of the time. Given the fact that I miss that often, I have to come up with a plan for stealing. But now, how can I steal from this raiser? This color coding came from sometime in the future, so I don't know anything about him right now. But a good thing about that is he doesn't know anything about me either. So my plan is to check raise if I don't hit a set, to check raise any flop that's a hard to hit flop, or especially if he makes some kind of a small bet on the flop. So those are my 2 plans. We call, we're out of position, heads up, queen 6-3, we don't hit our set. Oh, but look at that. It's a hard to hit board. I check. He bets real small, 1.6. I gotta follow through with my plan. I raise, right? 7 big blinds. Drat, he called. Well, let's see what happens on the turn. The king hits. Now, it's possible he has some kings in his range, but he also has ace-high hands. He maybe has underpairs, 7s and 8s. He might even have underpairs, deuces and 3s. He might have had ace-5 of hearts. There's so much weak stuff potentially in his range that king did not help. So I need to barrel on that what could be a blank for his calling range. He does not have to have a king right now. And he folded. We took that one down. And I love it when a plan comes together. So now it's time for you to take action. First, like the video if you like the video, subscribe for more, and please leave a comment down below. And then do the practice. Run the filter, 10 hands per position, plan for a steal before every single call. I know this is going to help improve your win rates and that lovely red line as well. And it'll make you a greater force on the felt to be reckoned with. I'll see you in the next video.